Good day, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Red Melissa. I am Red Melissa, and this is SIP. SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I hope everyone is doing well today. It's good to be with you all. And I want to start today by sharing Benito. Bad Bunny. I just want to give a shout out to Bad Bunny for doing his thing at the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness. I only watched the Super Bowl for the halftime show and the commercials, like many people. But I'm telling you, I had a good old time dancing to Benito, Mr. Bad Bunny. And did y'all know that was Lady Gaga? I had to text my girls and ask them if that was Lady Gaga because I wasn't sure at first. So that was a nice surprise to see Lady Gaga and to see Ricky Martin. So just wanted to give a shout out to Bad Bunny doing a amazing job representing America and the culture, the Latin culture. He was amazing, amazing, amazing. The African culture, if we want to be real about it. Okay, so I hope everyone is doing well. We are in a new week. And this morning I was thinking about, as I often do, what we can focus on today. And, I often like to focus on the things that I am interested in, or I am working on, or that I might be challenged with, or something that's current. But underneath all of that, the common denominator is that I desire for it to be useful for you, that it is something that you can put into practice. And so, one of the things that I have been paying closer attention to this year, I always pay attention to it, but it's really like top of mind for me. I'm looking at your comments. All right, I'm gonna take a pause here and address the comments about the halftime show. So Pamela is saying that she loved the halftime show. Yes, Pamela. Sekou said, but I couldn't understand him though. Well, he was speaking mainly in Spanish. So unless you speak Spanish, you would not understand him. But Linda said, I wish I knew more Spanish. I could feel the energy of the show. That's what I was going to say. Sometimes you don't need to know exactly what someone is saying. You can still pick up the energy, the vibration of it, the intentionality of it by that, just by the way it's making you feel. And he was making me feel with his representation of the culture and how he was including what is current. It was just spectacular. It was spectacular. It's right up there for me with Kendrick Lamar. Right up there. Kendrick's still number one for me, but he was right up there with Kendrick Lamar as far as using that platform. Because I think they said it was over 120 million people who watched the halftime show. To use that platform and deliver a message is something to be very proud of. Something to be very proud of. And he did it. He did it. His message about love, conquering hate, that there's nothing greater than love. Did y'all see that on the billboard? Okay, see how y'all got me going in about this now? So just shout out, just a shout out. Pamela said, I live in Long Beach, LA, and understand lots of Spanish. All right. And see, that was a smart thing to do, Pamela, to have the translations on. I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. But it's all good. It's all good. I said I was going to watch it again because I felt like I was missing stuff after I was reading some of the commentary about it. All right, y'all. So Benito is not our series this week. Our series this week is not Bad Bunny or the Super Bowl or the NFL or all of the other things related to that. I wanted to talk about, because I really would like your input and feedback and ideas about this. I've been paying very close attention to my routine. I want to talk about routine. So there's a lot of books about establishing routines, a morning routine, an evening routine, a weekend routine, all kinds of routines. And the routine that I am making a deeper commitment to for myself this year is my morning and my evening routine. And I'm happy to report that my routine around rest is getting better. It's getting so much better because I am keeping a routine around the time that I will stop, especially in the evening, the time that I will stop doing all the things and start to prepare myself to go to bed. And that has been helping me tremendously when I do it. Right? It works when you do it. When you do it, it works. That's just how it is. So I looked up the word routine, and this is what it says: regular, unvarying, habitual, unimaginative, or rote procedure. I did not like that definition. At varying and constantly repeated and unvarying and constantly repeated formula, an individual act, performance, or part of a performance. So these are other definitions. As an adjective, it is of the nature of, proceeding by, or adhering to. It also, as an adjective, says dull or uninteresting. So I was like, look at the definition of the word routine, right? It is not inspiring whatsoever. It is not inspiring. Dull or uninteresting. What? So, you'll know me, I always go to the origin of the word. So the origin of routine is root or route, depending on how you want to pronounce it. ROUTE, route. Let's say route. So then I went to route. This is what route says: a course, way, or road for passage or travel. That's the noun. The verb is to set the path of. So I was like, to set the path of. Now that is something that I could get excited about. To set the path of. So what am I setting the path of? By having a morning and evening routine. I'm setting the path of, in the mornings, I'm setting the path of creating the tone for my day by doing my spiritual practice, right? So the part of my routine that is that I needed some focus around was my wake up time. So you remember that time we had the 5 a.m. club? The 5 o'clock in the morning club. You remember that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We did it for a good while and then it just petered out, right? It just petered out. And then I started just on my own doing the 6 a.m. club. And that worked for a little while, but it was always dependent upon what? What I set my path for in the evening. So, if nothing else, know this, and this is so obvious, right? Your morning routine starts the night before, not in the morning. Your morning routine starts the night before because your evening routine supports I want my evening routine to support, to be in partnership, right, with my morning routine. They are so connected. And it made me think about Dr. Will Coleman, who is this amazing scholar in African studies and biblical studies. He's just in a linguistic. He is amazing, Dr. Will Coleman. And I took a class with him a couple of years ago, and he was saying that we have it backwards. This Western society has messed up the flow of the day. That the day really starts in the evening, and then the second part of the day is the day. So what we do in the evening greatly impacts what our morning is going to be like. If we want to establish a healthy, loving, gentle routine for ourselves. That's what my desire is. Routine for me does not mean like drilling something in myself. It makes me think about, I have this image of the people who go into the service and they're in boot camp and they are like waking up in the wee hours of the morning. They have this routine that they have to abide by, come no matter what. I'm not talking about that kind of routine. I'm talking about something that sets the path for. Something that sets the path for. So I am setting the path for rest and restoration. That is the intention for my evening routine, to wind down, to unravel, to relax, to set the path for rest and restoration. I have an app that I use that tracks, a sleep tracker app, and it gives me a score, overall score of my sleep. So based on REM, deep sleep, and light sleep. And it has percentages related to each of those things. And for me to get a high mark in the sleep app, I have to do two particular things. My bedtime has to be consistent. My rising time has to be consistent. So therefore, I need a routine, set the path for when I know that part of my intention is for rest and restoration, then I set the path for rest and restoration. What are the components of that? Consistent rise time, consistent bedtime. So I've been focusing on that. I've been focusing on that because my bedtime had been erratic, all over the place. And the closer I got to the weekend, the worse it got. So I'm being very conscious about that now. So, what about you all? What are you setting the path for when you think about your routine, your morning routine, your evening routine? What are you setting the path for yourself? I would love to hear. So Linda is sharing, I have learned to be adaptable in my routines. Discernment is an essential component in my life. So blending routines with vital discernment helps make my routines work for me. My path can have variations. I love that, Linda. I love that. So clearly, Linda has found what works for her, right? Adaptability, discernment, and variation. That is perfect for Linda. The variation for me right now, Linda, I don't really think I could do variation as part of my routine, mainly because when I vary, I get off course. So I think once I have it like locked in, then I could look at, you know, varying it. You know what I mean? But I appreciate that. I am adaptable and I love discernment. So thank you for sharing that, Linda. Sekou remembers the 5 a.m. club. Yep, Sekou was part of it. Ron said my day starts around 4 a.m. every day. So Ron, what time do you go to bed? I'm really interested when people get up that early, what time they go to bed. I used to get up at 4 a.m. years ago. I used to do the full moon meditation at 4 a.m. with like two or three other people that would get up and do it with me. And it was wonderful. But those times when I was getting up at 4 a.m., especially in my 20s, I was in a program with Queen Afua, and everyone that was in this program, Sacred Woman, we would get up at 4 a.m. and we would do our prayers, our meditations, we would do our altar work. And there was just something about knowing there was all of these women doing the same thing that I was doing at 4 a.m. And they say that at 4 a.m., between 4 and 6 a.m. is the best time to get up and to meditate. Of course, this is all depending upon how you live your life as well, right? And finding what works for you. So, Pamela said, can routines be similar to a schedule? I think so, Pamela. I'm going to look more closely into that because I was also thinking, like, are routines and habits the same? So I want to dig a little this week and look at what are the distinguishing characteristics of routine, schedule, habits. I want to dig a little bit into that. Bonnie's asking a question. What do you mean by discernment in this instance? I think I think well, I can only speak by what I mean by discernment. I'm not going to speak for Linda. But to let me not use the same word. Um to for example, to discern if I'm if let's say I traveled, right? And I'm on now a different time zone. I'm going to make adjustments. I'm going to discern that this might not be the best time to stick to a routine that worked on a different time zone. I know that's not the greatest example, but that's what came to mind. Linda, if you want to add, please do. So that's where we're going this week. We'll see where it takes us. I'm making a note about schedules and habits, and I'll make a note about discernment as well, Bonnie. Wonderful. I'm glad that resonated. And I would love to hear more from you all about your routines because it might help me with my routine. I really would appreciate that. So, adaptability and flexibility. Beautiful. Setting the path for adaptability and flexibility in your routine. Love that. Love that for you, Bonnie. For me, flexibility for me before I establish a routine um, doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I could add in flexibility later, but I need I need the structure. I really don't want to use that word, but there's just an element of the consistency for me. And maybe I'm just being too rigid, y'all. Y'all think I'm being too rigid? Maybe. I need to look at that. I'm going to have a meeting with myself about that. So, this is where we're going this week. Lighthearted, open-minded, and sharing. All right? All right, y'all. So, let's get into some joy news. So, what I would like to share with everyone is to let you know that it is not too late to join our new spiritual living book study. We started last Wednesday. We meet every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. You can find the Zoom link by going to rocklandcsl.org. And I am the spiritual leader at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living here in New York, which is a New Thought Center. We are a community of love and joy, and all are welcome to join us. So, the book again is Making Peace with Your Parents. We are doing chapters 1 and 2 this week. So if you join us, please read the first 2 chapters of the book. It's a wonderful book. It doesn't matter if your parents are alive or if they have transitioned. It doesn't matter. You will get something from this book as long as you're open and willing to do the work, right? Because there's lots of exercises, lots of questions to ask, to answer, lots of writing, which I really love. So I hope you would join us. It's free and it's every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, y'all. So that's all I'll share today. Have a wonderful today. Think about your routines. If you like, you can send me a message about your routine, your morning routine, your weekend, your evening, your morning and your evening routine. If you're like, Red Melissa, I don't need a routine. I got it. What I do works for me. I'd love to know what that is. What is it that is working for you? All right. All right, y'all. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.